What's up, guys? Reaper Mike from Six Kings here. Today we're going to go over Cd009s, how to tell you actually have a Cd009, and how to cut the bell housing and mount up an adapter plate to whatever motor you're going to be using. We're going to be doing it to an RB25 Neo, and let's get to it. So the first thing you're going to look for when looking for a Cd009, a dead giveaway is this plate. Some do have this plate, but the definite Cd009s or Cd0As have this sensor, which is for the rev matching. An easy way to tell, there's a VIN number plate here. If you read the 10th VIN, the 10th digit of the VIN number, that's going to tell you the year. So you see, this one's out of an 03, early model 350Z. This is not a Cd009, but it looks just like it. You can also tell because here, where the bolts mount, it's all solid. Cd009s, they started using rubber bushings where the shifter mounts. That's how you can tell. Don't always go by where it says, it's on this side, sorry, CDO number 1 or Cd008. This is CD8 number 1, that says CD8 number 1. Those don't tell you what they are, but if it says CD0, more than likely it's not from a later model. On this bell housing, you'll see on the VIN tag, the 10th digit is B. Once you hit 2010, it switches to an A, B, C, D instead of a number. 2000 to 2010 will have a 1 for 2001, 2 for 2002, etc. So another giveaway is going to be the slave cylinder. I'm not sure how many actually came with the external slave cylinder with the 4-com, but the ones that we use typically better are the ones that have the internal slave cylinder. But they come plastic from the factory, so you're going to want to get a metal one if you're going to be using a lot of abuse on these. So, once you figure out which one you actually have, and you know you like the synchros in it, you can go ahead to start cutting off the bell housing. So if you don't want to measure it, you can get a piece of cardboard and trace around here, and then draw a line. So usually, I'll take a piece of cardboard, I'll put it right behind this line. See, it's behind it. Then you take your marker and you just trace around it. That's going to be a little too far forward still, but it gives you a good idea of where to start. So once you cut through, you're going to see the blade come through here. If you see it a little bit beforehand, that's okay. Make another cut and just try to line it up with these ribs here, because these ribs sit behind the plate, and if you don't match it up with that line, your adapter plate will most likely not sit flush, and that's why you want that. So you'll see here, these ribs, line the saw blade up with those ribs and make your cut all the way around, and it should sit behind the plate. Once you do that, you can shave these down a little more like I did just to be sure. And boom, your bell housing's off. It's really not that bad. If you're scared, don't worry about it. There's a lot of room for error. So on top of doing that, you're also going to need an automatic bell housing from whatever motor you're going to put on. Because the plate is going to mount to the transmission, and then once you get the bell housing down, it's going to pop on just like that, and there's your bolt holes. Boom, 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 boom. That's pretty much how that works. The adapter kit we went with is Jim Wolf's technology. They usually seem pretty good, and they give you everything you need in the kit. You got the adapter plate. You're gonna need to buy the spacer depending on which transmission you have. So, if you did decide to go with a Cd009, that's fine. Your choice and your choice. The adapter plate is meant to go straight on there and work with how it is as far as the input bearing. So once you pop this off, pull this gasket off. They give you a new one, so don't worry about it. The input shaft bearing comes in different sizes. So on the Cd009s, it's 100 millimeters, which is meant to work directly with this plate. Right up over there. And that's fine. But if you have a number that says CD5, the input shaft bearing is going to be 95 millimeters. So you're going to have to buy a 95 millimeter spacer for the adapter kit to work. So it's not that bad. It's only 30 bucks. And yes, it is necessary. Then if you have a CD8 like we have over here, CD8, these numbers all pertain to which model: 350Z, 370Z, G35 or G37 this came out of. So all pre-HR and VHR motors are the ones where you don't need a spacer. Any motor that was HR or VHR up to June of 08 on the G33s and up to 708 on the V36, those are going to need the 95 millimeter spacer. Since we have the Cd008, which comes from 708 to 808, we needed a 90 millimeter spacer. So pretty much pop it right in there. It's going to snap in nice and easy. Not that big of a deal. And that's meant just to give you enough clearance to pop that on right around there. I would prefer popping it on here first, so you know everything is going to sit right. And that's it. The adapter plate will be ready to go on right after that. Jim Wolf also sells anything else you're going to need. So, since this car is going to be driven on the street a lot, I didn't want to go with the twin plate because, you know, it's going to be a rough ride. So we went with a single plate clutch disc that Jim Wolf has. And it's rated up to 745 Newton meters, I think. Wherever it was rated to like over 600 foot-pounds of torque, which is plenty for what we're using it for. And that should be great. Their clutch doesn't have any markings on it, on the pressure plate, but it looks good, it looks heavy duty, and it's gonna work fine. They do sell a flywheel as well, which is 250 millimeters. And they do incorporate the starter ring gear into it, which some other companies make you use the automatic flex disc, which I didn't want to mix up. Felt like it may rattle, may not. Plus it's really pretty and it all goes right together. So, you know, why not? So we're gonna set it up soon. The adapter plate's just gonna slip right over. It does come with a seal too. You have to pop a seal in there. If this kit has that, let me double check. Oh no, this one has no seal. So, oh yeah, it does. Yes, it does. Right there. They supply all the bolts you're gonna need and everything. So I'm gonna go ahead and set everything up, and I'll show you the process afterwards. And remember, always use Loctite on the bolts. Alright guys, so here's the issue with the slave cylinder. This kit is meant for the stock slave cylinder. So, there's these two little nubs right here that sits flush with the stock one. And one down here that you can't really see. Take this off for you. Talking about here and here. Those aren't going to let the aftermarket slave cylinder fit. So we can either grind this off, which I probably wouldn't do. So what I'm going to do is drill a hole into here to make it fit. This one sits right about here against the wall. So I take this out, I should be able to drill that out a little bit just so that I can fit. We're gonna do that and then we'll get back to you. Alright guys, we're back. So all we had to do to make this Concept Z slave cylinder fit was notch the slot here, notch it there, and drill here and over here because the bolts protrude, so you have to recess down into here. I don't know if you can see that pop out a little bit. So now everything fits in the slots. So we got it to fit correctly after drilling a hole into the spacer so the bottom of this can put through and through here. Just notch it a little bit so that I can recess or put spacers. And then these bolts need to be longer because they don't give you long enough bolts to go through the plate. And that was it.